I have finally played and finished Need for Speed Heat, and after I finished I realized that I was right this whole time. The game is exactly what I thought it would be. The thing I am glad about is that I finally got to play this game and experience what it has to offer, and I must admit that it felt good to play a NFS game after so long. It just isn't a very good one. Going into this, I went in with an open mind and tried not to be too critical of every single little thing. I decided to really give the game a chance to impress me, and I will admit that at certain rare times the game did just that. The only issue is that with every one thing that NFS Heat did right, there was at least two things that the game didn't do right, so the ratio really isn't doing very well, and I will get into detail about that. Let me start with the story. The story is okay, but I'm glad that they even bothered to have a story to begin with. The characters fare no better than the story, and let me just say that the characters in the game are the worst example of street racers I have ever seen. Everyone in the game just looks like social media influencers, apart from the antagonists in the game that look like actual cops. The street racers don't look the part, they just look like young people with a lot of money and rich parents. I like the fact that they at least try to give the characters personality and a good story, so I commend them for that. The handling and physics are the worst part of the game. Sometimes they don't even respond to button inputs, and oftentimes the cars are pretty much undrivable. Like for example, drifting in the game is so bad, the cars can barely hold angle because the physics is so bad. And I know some of you will say it's just a matter of how your car is set up, which I did in detail, and my car could still barely drift. One of the things I probably enjoyed most in Need for Speed Heat was the off-road rally style races. I can say that I had quite a bit of fun with it. It was a nice change of pace from driving exotic cars. I tuned and kitted out my car just for off-road racing, and the amount of tuning options you have in this game is really impressive, and I commend them for that. First of all, let me say this: I would rather want to fight the cops than run from them. The police on the game are another issue. The cops are one part of the game that I enjoyed as well, and I would have enjoyed them more if the police were done better. In the game you have a health bar, and it doesn't take much for you to lose health. The cops are probably the most annoying thing that deals the biggest amount of damage to your health, but you can repair your car at gas stations, but you only get a limited 3 repairs. You also have perks that make you deal more damage and take less damage, as well as one that restores a certain amount of health. But if you get past Heat level 3, you will struggle to lose the cops unless you can get to the main city where it is easier to lose them. The cars in the game are standard and nothing really special about them. The game just expects them to do all the work without really creating a good driving experience, because the only time I enjoyed racing was in the main city. When you do races deeper in the map, they become boring and feel like a chore. I wish the game had more sprint than circuit races, because the circuit races become really repetitive after a while. I like the sprint races because you got to see more of the map. My final thoughts are the game just needed to be better. The graphics of the game is amazing during the day and at night, but it's let down by bad gameplay and lazy game development. The map is nice, but most of it is just flat roads that are boring to drive on, and the ending of the game was okay, but a part of me wanted more. And with that, this is the Chilly Man signing off. I thank everyone for watching. Peace out.